Hey guys! So today you and I are going to talk about Google and popularity. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, Frederick, why do everybody want to get hired at Google even though there are thousands of other companies offering better opportunities? And the short answer is marketing, my friend. Or I suppose that employer branding is the thing that makes this all kind of happen. Let me explain. So Google is not the first company to do this. If we think about employer branding, guys, basically just means that a company tries to create a public image to gain some sort of benefit. Now, Google does this in the engineering world. As you may have noticed, they do that better than probably anybody else. These top-end IT companies, or so-called top-end tier companies, have basically brainwashed the entire engineering community, or a very large portion of people, to the point where they believe that unless you work for these companies, you are scum, or you're just average, and the only people who work at these companies are the biggest and the brightest, the best of the best. And I'm here to tell you that's not true. It's not true by a long shot. I don't care if you are the best student at a university who goes directly into Google, it doesn't matter. You're not going to outcode. There are plenty of other companies out there who has very seasoned veteran experience and extremely experienced and smart developers that are not working for Google. And this is the thing. This is the power of having such a presence in the IT world. These companies, let's take Microsoft as an example. Microsoft used to be the biggest kid on the block. They kind of lost a lot of that power or that popularity to companies such as Google and so forth because of the level of lobbying that Google does within the IT community. They are an enormous presence. And Microsoft is now starting to kind of get the same thing. Quite a lot of IT companies they're starting to realize that, hey, you know what? There's a scarcity of developers globally. There's simply not enough. So if we want the best developers, then we're going to have to invest in order to make that happen. And that's something that quite a lot of companies try to copy from Google and the other companies, and not that many are actually very successful with. They might believe that they are, but they're simply not at that level. And it does help that Google is an IT product company first. What that basically means is that if you go and you're a programmer for Google, you're going to have a very different value system and office culture from if you let's say that you want to work for, I don't know, General Motors or Volkswagen or some car company, because the business models of these two companies is very different. Both of them are in need of programmers for their digital systems, but Google is actually developing, or at least trying to develop, trend-setting, cutting-edge IT solutions, whereas Volkswagen or the car manufacturer, they sell cars. That's their focus. So that difference in focus actually can be felt within your role as an engineer at a given company. But this idea that everybody wants to work for Google, it doesn't come from that Google just has everything that nobody else has, and if you just go to Google, you're just going to be better than everybody else. That's not true, guys. It's absolutely not true. But there is an enormous brand value to having Google on your CV. It is something that will raise people's, you can think of it as, it's not that different from having very, very expensive clothes on with a very well-known brand. That brand has cost Google, I don't know how many millions to produce, but now that they have it, people want to work for them, and people in some cases, they wear it as a badge of pride that they have worked for Google. So that, if, let's say, for the sake of argument, they can't survive in Google, it doesn't really matter, or if they don't want to work there anymore, it doesn't really matter either, because they have worked there. And by being someone who has been on the inside of this, they actually can go out later. And I don't think that there's anything more, there are very few, let's call it that. There are very few things that will impress a normal company. I'm doing quotation marks now. A normal company will look at you having something like Google or Facebook or PayPal or some of these very famous companies on your CV as an enormous testament to your skill, even if that's not necessarily true. So the reason, in essence, why everybody wants to work for them is, as I said, because they put a lot of money and energy into making sure that that is the case. But we also have to admit that they have some of the most successful digital products. Their search engine is pretty much ruling the world at this point. Between the Google search engine and the YouTube search engine, they pretty much have a stranglehold on I'm not saying the entire internet, but a very large portion of it. And that is something that, I'm not going to say more than that gives them a lot of power. I'm not so sure that they should have all that power, but they do. So what I want you to take away from this is that the primary reason why people want to work for Google instead of just taking other opportunities, because guys, if you think that they pay you more than everybody else, then you haven't been looking around. There are plenty of companies who offer different challenges and different experiences. And I can tell you from experience, when it comes to working for these sorts of like this size of company, just because you go and work for Google doesn't mean that you're going to have just the best time ever. It very much depends on which office you are in. It depends on office politics. It depends on the team that you're part of. There's tons of factors that play in. But everybody wants to work for them because the brand of Google is so well established and so high value within the IT community. One part is because they lobby and market quite a lot and have different events and things of this nature. They have a very strong presence. The other part is that they have some of the best digital projects that we have on this planet. And that doesn't mean that they're all good or all bad. It just means that they have a very, very strong presence in the IT community. And a lot of people want to get some of that value rubbed off on their CV or just see how it is to work for one of these companies. That's pretty much how it goes. But I want you to also know that that doesn't mean that there's no other, there's plenty of great opportunities out there apart from Google or these high-end companies that might be an even better fit for you than working for one of those companies. Have a great day.